Well, hello, everyone. This is John Byrne with Poets and Quants. We are going to do a deep dive into the Saunders College of Business at the Rochester Institute of Technology. The school is nearing completion on a massive building project that will nearly double its space. We have with us the Dean of the Saunders College of Business, Jackie Mozrall. Hi, Jackie. How are you today?
Hi, John. It's nice to be with you.
So the big excitement at the school is this massive building project and the additional capacity you're going to have. What are you going to do with it?
Well, Saunders College is a business school at an Institute of Technology, Rochester Institute of Technology. And with that comes a mission to really be at the intersection of business and technology. And so everything we do is integrated with technology. And in order to be able to execute on our mission, these new facilities that you talk about is going to help us to execute on that mission. So behind me, you see our Skolarski Center for Business Analytics with Bloomberg terminals. We'll really be focused on three things associated with our business school expansion. One is to expand collaborations. So collaborations amongst students, collaborations amongst students and faculty, being able to work together. And that's been translated into project team rooms where students can work on projects and case analysis, because so much of the learning in Saunders College at RIT is applied and industry focused, industry inspired, industry sponsored. A second thing that the expansion will allow us to do is elevate experiential learning as well as research. And so, as I mentioned, so much of our learning at RIT is applied and experiential based. So having additional research labs, a digital media and behavioral research lab, an integrated business technology lab will allow us to continue to grow our applied research. We also have some active learning classrooms where students will be able to configure these rooms to support the pedagogy that's being taught at any given time. And then finally, the third pillar of our business school expansion is to enhance community interactions and to grow, continue to grow our relationships with corporations and the regional business community as well as the national business community. So we support events and conferences. And so to have those event spaces where we can continue to grow and welcome the business community into Saunders College will be a wonderful thing.
When do you expect to open the doors on the new building?
We just opened them at the beginning of the new year. So January 2nd, 2024. And we're excited to welcome the students back to campus tomorrow.
Okay. That's fantastic. So they're going to be, a big surprise is awaiting them, essentially.
Yes.
Now, you have quite a portfolio of programs at the school. Undergraduate in accounting, finance, hospitality, marketing, MIS, global business management. You also have a full array of both MS and MBA programs. You have a full-time MBA, you have an MBA, which is an executive MBA, obviously a hybrid online. And then you have masters in accounting and analytics, business analytics, finance, supply chain management, technology, innovation, and entrepreneurship, hospitality, business management on campus and online, and organizational leadership and innovation, which is fully online. What are the most popular of these?
Well, it is a broad portfolio, but I think the common theme across all of our programs is the integration of technology. So at the undergraduate level, no matter which program you're in, from finance to management information systems to hospitality, every student is required to take business analytics courses and apply those skills within their respective disciplines. At the graduate level, as you mentioned, we have a broad portfolio of MS and MBA programs. a majority of those programs are STEM designated, which means at least 50% of the content within those programs is technical content. So they really do operate at that intersection between business and technology, including our MBA program is STEM designated.
Right. In fact, I see you have what a half dozen STEM designated master's programs, including, of course, as you mentioned, the MBA.
Yes,
Let's
and
talk a
also
little
at
bit.
the MS level, which really
Oh,
provides a
right.
deeper dive into certain disciplines. Our MS in accounting and analytics, our MS in business analytics, our MS in finance, our MS in supply chain management, and our MS in technology, innovation, and entrepreneurship are all STEM designated.
How does the culture of the overall institution affect these programs? I mean, you mentioned, the sort of distinctiveness is the connection with technology and innovation. So how does it play out in any of the programs?
I think we have an overrepresentation of students, particularly in our graduate programs, with strong technical backgrounds. So we'll have students from across campus in computing and engineering areas, as well as students that choose to join Saunders College at the graduate level. We seem to attract a large number of students with technical backgrounds, so primarily from the computing and engineering areas. And
Right.
so I think, really smart students, it just allows for a diverse classroom where you've got students that are looking at business problems from all different perspectives. So students with a business background, as well as students from a technical background that work together and interface together and solve problems together. And that's what we see in industry is you want students with diverse backgrounds sitting at a table together solving problems.
And I'm thinking that a lot of your experiential learning probably is centered around technology, one way or the other.
Yeah, certainly it's woven throughout all of our courses. Many of our students will do internships. So at the undergraduate level, co-op or internship is a graduation requirement. So all of our undergraduate students have an external internship experience. But many of our students at the master's level decide to take advantage of the RIT brand and also do an internship while they're in school here. And then also, as you mentioned, it's woven throughout the curriculum where students are working on projects and cases in their coursework.
Now, you dropped a word that many people outside this country may not be familiar with, which is co-op. And we should say that one of the distinctive features of the Saunders College is, in fact, that it's a co-op school. Explain what that means to people who may not know.
So co-op is part of the history of RIT. We've always been what we call a co-op school. We have one of the largest and oldest co-op schools in the country. It typically means a paid experience in your field at a company. So we actually now use the terms co-op and internship interchangeably. So I think in the business world, maybe some people are more familiar with the term internship, but we actually use those two words interchangeably.
And that's essential to actually apply what you've learned, right?
Yeah, it really is. And once students have done a co-op and then they come back to the classroom, it really enriches the classroom discussion and the way that students attack problems. And you think about at the graduate level in our graduate programs, we obviously have students with experience that had worked in industry after their undergraduate degree and come back. And then we also have students that have co-opted or internshipped at, in some cases, multiple different companies. And so it really provides for a rich learning environment.
The other thing that it provides is a path toward a full-time job. I imagine that a high percentage of your students in these co-op programs end up being offered full-time jobs by their employers.
Yes, it certainly drives our student outcomes and leads us towards towards placement rates on the order of 95% when students graduate.
Yeah, which is phenomenal. And that's 95% within what, 3 months?
The first 6 months.
Or 6 months. Okay,
Yes.
very good. And of all the programs, which of the master's programs, that is, which is your largest?
The MBA program, as
Hmm?
well as the MS in Business Analytics, are our two largest programs at the graduate level.
How many people are enrolled in those programs?
Combined, we probably have on the order of about 100 to 150 students in those two
Mhm.
programs, closer to 150 students across those two programs.
Right,
And at
great.
the undergraduate level, our largest program is Management Information Systems.
Ah,
And going back to what I had mentioned, where so much technology is integrated into everything we do, even if you're in a different undergraduate program, such as finance or marketing or even management, many students choose to do a minor in
hmm.
MIS.
Yeah, and it makes sense that you'd have a strong MIS major and program, given the technology slant of the institution, for sure. Now, the other thing that you've done recently, in fact, in the fall of last year, is you launched a PhD program in business administration. Um, Tell us why you did that and what it means for the school.
Yeah, this is very exciting for us. And it's something that was really driven by the faculty. Our faculty continue to become stronger and stronger as teacher scholars, engaging in very high quality research. And the time had come that they just felt for them to continue to move forward as scholars and continue to grow their research programs. They wanted to be able to work with PhD students and advise PhD students. And it's been very exciting. It's been amazing to us in our first year when we started the program and we started promoting the program. We got over 120 applications in the first year for
Hmm,
5 spots. So you can
wow.
imagine the quality of these students. And looking at applications that are coming in for this year, we're on track again to have more than 100 applications. It's a very interesting PhD program. And again, I think it's consistent with the mission of Saunders College. It's a PhD in business administration, but it has 3 tracks. So it really allows faculty from across disciplines to participate. So we have a track in digital transformation, we have a track in finance and accounting, and then we have a track in strategy and innovation. But again, running through all 3 of these tracks is the idea of using technology to drive the development of new business theories and applications.
Hmm. And is the program meant for people who ultimately want to teach and research? Um, or can people actually take a PhD program and work for a company?
Yeah, I think you can do both.
Hmm.
It is a traditional program where students would be here in residence and working on their research with faculty. So certainly students are being prepared in a strong methodological and foundational way. So they're prepared to go into academia. But certainly if someone chooses to go into business and industry, work at a consulting firm or somewhere else in a research and development lab at a company, they would also have that avenue open to them.
Right. Now, one of the other things I think that's interesting about the Saunders College is the number of centers, academic centers, research centers of excellence. So you have a Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. You have a Leadership Academy. You have a Competitive Sustainability Center. What role do these centers play in helping you design projects and do research in these different fields?
Yeah, so the nature of these centers is different. Some are more research-based centers, others are more applied centers, and others are yet what I would call training centers.
Hmm.
So our Leadership Academy is really about providing training and programming for students as an extracurricular activity who want to be able to engage in additional leadership programming and receive leadership certificates, not for credit leadership certificates. It's a wonderful extracurricular activity that we offer actually to all students across RAT. Um, whereas our competitive sustainability center is more focused in not only driving research in this area, but also helping people across the world, entrepreneurs and business leaders, in adopting principles around the circular economy.
Hmm.
And much of that work is actually done in cooperation with faculty in our Golisano Institute for Sustainability. So we actually have a PhD program in another college in sustainability, but we have faculty working together from Saunders College along with the Golisano Institute for Sustainability on research in the area of circular economy.
Right. And then for people who are interested in entrepreneurship, RIT has a venture creations incubator. This is not housed in the business school, but in the overall college, university, um, where I think then you can get people from different disciplines colliding together to make something happen, right?
Yeah, so we actually have two centers. One is more focused on student programming, and that is the Simone Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. So
Right.
it is a university level center, although the director of the center is a Saunders College faculty member. And students from across campus can work in this center on their business ideas. And it usually results in interdisciplinary teams. So students from computing and engineering and design and business working together on their business ideas. And we offer accelerator programs and tiger tanks. And sometimes some of these business ideas become so successful, they could actually graduate into venture creations, which is the RAT incubator, where
Uh,
then they can position themselves for additional venture funding. We also have a whole host of facilities across campus, maker spaces and machining capabilities and design labs that are at the disposal of students to, if they have project or if they have product-based business ideas, they have those facilities to drive their business ideas where they can do prototyping right here on campus.
right. So if you're into startups, or just want to learn how to think as an entrepreneur, this is a good place to go.
Absolutely, right.
Now, you have also, it's worth noting, a low student to faculty ratio, which I think is always sort of interesting because, it's a small, intimate place essentially, and you may have all these programs, but the program size is of a nature that everyone knows each other and they know the faculty intimately, right?
Yeah, I think RIT really, and Saunders College specifically, represents the best of both worlds because we are a small college at a large university. So we have about 1,000 students currently in our college, about 700 undergraduate students and 300 graduate students. We're looking to grow the graduate student population by a couple hundred students over the next couple of years. But still, it's going to be a fairly small college at a large university. And so, as you said, the faculty get to know the students really well. The students get to know the faculty really well. It allows us to teach in a project-based way. Um, and so there's a lot of opportunities to interface with students and faculty in your courses, as well as through extracurricular activities. But at the same time, you're at this large university of 17,000 students. that provides lots of opportunities, things like I mentioned, where you have rapid prototyping facilities and design facilities and an entrepreneurship center that allows you to interface with other students from across campus in unique ways.
Now, some people may think, and I want to disabuse them of this notion, that you need to be an engineer to go to a graduate school or a graduate program at a place called the Rochester Institute of Technology. But you don't need to be an engineer, do you?
No, that is true. We certainly have an overrepresentation of engineers and computing majors, but we also have a very strong design school at RIT. And so we get design students
Hmm.
in our graduate programs. But we also have business students, students that have had an undergraduate degree in business or an undergraduate degree in liberal arts and policy. And so I think our strength is in our diversity and the
Yeah.
fact that we have so much diversity within Saunders College across our student body.
How would you describe the culture of the school?
I think it's a very innovative culture where nothing is impossible. Students think about and dream about doing different things, and sometimes they fail, but sometimes they're successful. It's a welcoming community. As you mentioned, we are a small college. And it's a diverse college, and so I think people respect diversity and really value having that diversity and getting to meet so many different people from so many different backgrounds and work with so many different people from so many different backgrounds that it's a very rich community.
Yes. So there you have it. What else should we know about the Rochester Institute of Technology? It's obviously in Rochester, New York.
Yeah, we're in beautiful upstate New York. We're nestled between the Great Lakes and the Finger Lakes. We're a medium-sized city. The greater metropolitan area is on the order of about 1 million people. But yet you can get from the city out to rural areas in 15 minutes.
Mhm.
We have beautiful suburbs and communities with a very high quality of living, with really strong public schools and very strong access to healthcare. And once people move to Rochester, it's very interesting. They don't want to leave the area because it is such a
Yeah.
beautiful place to live. You get all the benefits of being near a large city without the headaches of traffic, and it's also a very affordable place to be. It's kind
Yeah.
of a college town because we have about 6 or 7 colleges right in Rochester, and so one of the largest industries in Rochester is education,
Hmm.
higher education.
Yeah. So a lot of young people, a dynamic place.
Yes, absolutely.
Fabulous. Well, Jackie, thank you for filling us in on the Saunders College of Business. Good luck. Congratulations on the new building and the new PhD program. That sounds fantastic. And you mentioned you're going to grow graduate enrollment by a few hundred. I'm assuming that's going to be in your analytics master's program, right?
I think it'll be across the portfolio,
Okay,
across our MS programs. Yep.
very
So,
good. And if someone wants to find out more about the programs, of course, they can go to your website,
yeah,
right?
we have a wonderful website, so it's very easy to find us.
Terrific. And the
So,
website, obviously, it's rit.edu. Look for Saunders, and you'll find the very good descriptions of every program, all the courses that are involved in each of the curriculas, and um, and a lot of more information on what it's like to study in Rochester.
yeah,
So, Jackie, thank you so much for being with us.
thank you so much, John. It was a pleasure to talk with you, and thanks for taking the time to learn more about RIT and Saunders College of Business.
Absolutely. I happen to be a fan of Rochester. I've been there a bunch of times and I really have enjoyed it. And you're right, it is a beautiful part of the country.
Thanks, and we look forward to welcoming you sometime in the near future.
That sounds good to me. All right.
Take
For all of
care
you
and
out
have a
there,
great day.
I hope you enjoyed our deep dive on the Saunders College of Business at the Rochester Institute of Technology. This is John Byrne with Poets and Quants. Thanks for watching.